I'm Claudia Catania, and you're listening to Playing on Air. You're about to hear A Sticky Memento by Ken Urban. Ken's plays include A Guide for the Homesick and The Correspondent. As a screenwriter, he penned an adaptation of his play The Happy Sad. As a musician, he leads the band Occurrence. And as an educator, he currently teaches theater at MIT. Knud Adams joins Ken as our director. Having recently directed Primary Trust at the Roundabout and English at the Atlantic, Knud is much in demand, and we are fortunate to welcome him. Our cast features Jane Kaczmarek and Taylor Trensch. Jane Kaczmarek is most well known for her role as Malcolm's mother in TV's Malcolm in the Middle. And she has graced film, the TV screen, and the stage, both in New York, in LA, and regionally. On Broadway, Taylor Trensch starred in Camelot, Dear Evan Hansen, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and Wicked. And now, A Sticky Memento by Ken Urban.
Oh, it's all... Oh.
I wouldn't do that.
You scared me.
No, I just didn't want you
What are you doing in the bushes?
I was hiding.
Why?
Look, I wouldn't touch that statue.
But the guidebook says that it's good luck to rub the feet.
Yeah, never touch the John Harvard statue, especially not the feet.
Am I going to get arrested or something?
You touched it already, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You sure?
Why can't I touch it?
We piss on it. Among other things, Harvard students, we do that because we know.
What?
We know tourists like to, so we...
So you pee on a statue?
Mm-hmm, pee, spit, barf.
Why?
Nerd rage, maybe, I guess. I don't know, think of it as a memento. Look, kids, Mom's hand's sticky with Harvard kids' pee.
You go here?
Maybe?
Why are you hiding in the bushes?
I think I'm expelled. Sorry. Not expelled. We don't get expelled here at Harvard. That's unbecoming. I'm taking a leave of absence.
What'd you do?
Oh, nice fanny pack, by the way.
Oh, well, thanks. Did you get in trouble? 'Cause, on the statue?
Oh. You think I'd get expelled because I pissed on John Harvard here? No. I prefer to piss on my parents' dreams.
You're weird. And you smell like... is that marijuana?
Mm-hmm. I am really baked.
It's not even 10 a.m.
Where are you from?
Rockford. It's in Illinois.
It's one of the country's most economically depressed cities. I read about it in class.
Well, I don't know. It's just where I'm from.
Why the hell come here?
Never been to Boston, and we planned this trip ages ago, and I just figured, when in Rome, I should come to Harvard, right?
Your kids dream of coming here, huh?
Yeah, no kids.
Oh. Your husband wanted to?
No, don't have one of those either.
Cool.
Cool?
Well, you said we planned a trip to Boston.
Oh, a habit, I guess.
I used to pray for my parents to get divorced. But since there's no God, they're still married.
You seem like you're...
full of nerd rage?
In trouble, like something bad is happening, and all this joking is because you can't face what's happening.
You're a perceptive lady.
What's happening?
My parents are waiting for me in my dorm room because they have to take me home. They've been summoned. Apparently, on account of my non-expulsion, I am not allowed to be anywhere near campus for the rest of the year.
Yikes. Well, you must have done something really bad.
That's the thing, not really. I didn't commit a hate crime. I didn't invent a social media platform that emotionally crippled an entire generation.
Well, you must have done something.
I prefer to think of what I did as a form of sampling. I sampled other writers' thoughts in order to create something new in numerous assignments. The dean calls that plagiarism.
Not good.
In my defense, I told the dean I was gay, with boatloads of emotional problems. That's why I plagiarize and never go to class, because of my sadness about the whole gay thing.
We got a gay at the plant. He's pretty nice.
I'm not actually gay, I'm just from Connecticut.
What?
Gayness is merely a ruse.
Kid, what the heck is wrong with you?
I mean, I might be gay, bi, I don't know. All the same in the dark, I guess. God. Ugh, I hate this place so much.
You hate it here? What? Gee, looks pretty nice to me.
Everyone here has their lives figured out.
That's hilarious. I mean, who the heck has their life figured out when they're a kid?
As you rightfully pointed out, it's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I am baked and hiding from my parents in the bushes. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure out I'm not in the best of shape.
Yeah, but going to this school is, it's such an opportunity. I mean, why blow it?
What's your name?
D.
I'm Evan. D? What, happened to you and hubby?
That's none of your damn business.
That's true, but I'm on the edge, and I think you might be too.
What is that supposed to mean?
Like recognizes like.
Can you not speak in riddles?
You're in Boston solo, talking to a stoned kid hiding in a bush. You should have run away from me, or at a bare minimum, politely excused yourself, but here you are, still talking to me, so... What happened?
I mean,
No rush. I got all the time in the world.
Mark, that's my ex, he lost his job at Viking, and he couldn't find anything. But a buddy of his found him something over in Cedar Rapids, and, he had to take it. But I had my job at the plant, and I couldn't
I gotcha. He got a new job, started boning his secretary.
Oh, no, we lived apart. It was just too hard being apart. I mean, and then one day we just realized, yep, we just couldn't do this anymore. I just had the guts to say it first, and he couldn't deny how bad it was getting, and so then it was over. We filed for divorce, and I still love him. We just can't.
That's really sad, actually.
That's how it goes sometimes.
And you came to Boston to cheer yourself up? Are you a masochist?
I don't know what that word means.
You're a woman. Question answers itself.
Kid, you're a real jerk. You know that?
Do you think I should try and get hit by a car on Mass Ave? Not fatally. I mean, just badly injured. I hear gay suicidal teens are all the rage. Maybe then my parents would love me.
You got into Harvard. That's success, isn't it?
You see that building over there?
I have eyes, don't I?
We share a last name. That building and me. You get it now, D?
What, you're rich? Is that what you're saying? You're saying your parents bought your way in? Is that how things work here?
D, it is how the whole world works.
I can barely pay my mortgage. I shouldn't even be on this trip.
As Daddy says, life's a sucking chest wound, then you die.
Sounds like your dad's got problems.
He's from Connecticut, of course he has problems. D, will you adopt me? You can take me back to Rockford and we can both work on an assembly line and eat food made from the recipes in the back of Campbell's soup tin.
You ever worked assembly?
Oh, I've never had a job ever. God, your fanny pack is giving me life.
You're making fun of me.
No, I'm really not.
No, you are. You're making fun of me. You think you're better than me, and here I am spilling my heart out.
No, I really like talking to you.
No, you listen, you jerk. I work assembly, okay? It's not rocket science, but it's hard, and I'm good at it. You're just a spoiled kid who thinks that he has it rough. You don't. And making fun of people like me is why people like me hate people like you. And I, for one, I'm not going to feel bad for you, you stupid little brat who can't even face his parents. And what? What? You think you can handle where I'm from? You got everything handed to you on a silver platter your whole damn life, and even then you can't manage not to screw it up? You think you're owed something because of where you come from. But you know what? You ain't owed squat. Also, kid, you are gayer than a $3 bill. So just suck it up and deal with it. Oh, my... kid, hey, come on, Evan. Evan, don't, Evan, don't cry. It's okay. It's okay.
Such a disaster.
No, Evan, kid, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No. You're figuring things out.
But it's too late.
Oh, what? What are you, 17?
I'm 19.
You don't need to have things figured out when you're 19.
But I do.
Oh, but nothing. Come on, you fruitcake. Act like a man, for Christ's sake. Here, take this. Just take it and just, clean up your face.
Way to give me a dirty tissue.
Yeah, it's not dirty. It's wrinkled. But now, here, come on. Clean your face. You got snot hanging down your nose.
Dee, I'm sorry. I've been a jerk.
Oh, I shouldn't have yelled at you.
I deserved it.
Well, that's true. You did.
What do I do now?
Oh, honey, everyone's a little lost. But you push through. You find your way.
Did you read that on a greeting card?
You are such a jerk.
Yeah, and you love it.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is from a greeting card. That doesn't make it any less true.
Point taken.
Anyway, you gotta make all this up to me somehow.
Do I now?
Yes, you do. I come to this miserable place and I listen to you bitch and moan, and so you owe me.
All right. Ugh. Your wish is my command.
I'm bored and I don't know my way around, and I keep running into groups of Orientals taking pictures.
You really, really shouldn't use that word, Dee.
Well, so show me around. Show me what tourists like me don't normally get to see here on campus. Like the special spots.
Okay. I can do that. Actually, I know exactly where to take you. I'm gonna take you to my favorite place on campus. It's definitely not in your guidebook.
Good. Show me. And then I'm gonna walk you back to your room.
No, my parents are...
You can't run all day.
Really?
They love you.
They invest in me.
That's more than most people get in this life.
Fair enough.
Got a deal?
Deal.
Good. Come on, shake on it.
Ew, your hand is really sticky.
I touched it.
Damn it!
I put my whole hand on that statue.
We really shouldn't piss on John Harvard's shoe.
Well, let's go. Time's wasting, kid.
After you, Dee.
You just heard A Sticky Memento, written by Ken Urban and directed by Knud Adams. It featured Jane Kaczmarek as Dee and Taylor Trensch as Evan. Hello all, and thank you for staying to talk about what we all just did. Can you all say your name and role in the recording so listeners can better attach your voice to the role?
Hi, I'm Ken Urban. I'm the playwright.
Knud Adams, director.
I'm Taylor Trensch. I played Evan.
I'm Jane Kaczmarek. I played Dee.
Ken Urban, playwright. who was John Harvard? And is the pee-pee tradition he describes, that's described true?
Mm-hmm. Well, John Harvard is the founder of Harvard University, and there is a big statue of him in Harvard Yard. And one of my students told me, I used to teach there, told me that, the students pee and stick gum and awful things on there because all the tour books say you should rub the feet of John Harvard. It gives you good luck. And so when you see the statue, the feet are super shiny because everybody rubs their hands on it. And now every time when I used to work there, I would walk through Harvard Yard and I would see all these tourists rubbing. And then all I could think about was my students.
God.
Who would say that?
Is the statue on a plinth, though?
Yes.
How do they get up there?
It's touchable. It's not.
No.
High.
How do they get up there to urinate on
How
it?
do they pee up?
I didn't ask my students that. I just as soon as they told me that. But they'd also would be if they got really drunk, they would go there specifically to vomit.
But the urinate, unless they've got a really long street.
I guess my students were more talented than I gave them credit for. They had been drinking, and I don't know. But they would get up on, I guess they got up on the plinth, I'd never thought about that.
I mean, I went to the University of Wisconsin for undergrad, and we had a beautiful statue of Abraham Lincoln. We just put pennies on it.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's Midwest.
That's sweet, see?
Dignity.
That's D, right?
That is kind, yes.
That is kind, as opposed to the elitist
Yes.
so-called brats. Knud Adams, director. What aspects of Ken's play most attracted you?
Yeah, Ken and I have been in process with a couple of his plays these past couple of years. I love all of his writing, the balance of humor and vulnerability. His way with dialogue, it just sounds like people to me. And specifically on this, I think, I had a sort of traumatic freshman year of college, coming out, conservative family, coming from like a really rocky high school experience and trying to figure myself out. So I just think although my circumstances were very different than Evan's, I just related to the feelings of both wanting to belong and also burn everything to the ground.
Jane Kaczmarek, it's so nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you, too. Thanks for inviting me to do this.
Well, Jane recorded a piece by Daniel Wrights for us about a single mother with an adult son on the spectrum. So, folks out there, you should definitely catch it on our website or podcast. It's called Napoleon in Exile. Jane, how do you relate to the class divide aspect of this play, this meeting of Connecticut elite?
One of the things I loved about this play, reading it, was that it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a well-structured play, which just always gives you someplace to go as an actress. You can make active choices. And we had so much fun recording it today because with the direction of hold back here, don't become friends so quickly. And as true actors, Taylor and I were just like stinking it up with charm. Like, hello, I love you too. I love you. So pulling back from that is always, it's fun as an actor to be given direction to not use your muscle, that which comes easiest to you. But I am from the Midwest, and there was a lot about D I really related to. A lot of cousins and family whose situation is very, very different than what Evan's character, Taylor's talking about, and the whole Connecticut thing. I went to school in the East, for graduate school, and that was different, but it was a long time ago, too, when I think there was tremendous pride in getting into Yale. And nowadays, I think young people are much more attached to their fury, rage, and cynicism. That I could understand Dee's dismay at what Taylor is feeling about going to Harvard, and because of what kids are going through these days, understand his disgust with it all.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to Yale?
For drama school, yeah.
For drama school.
But, I graduated in 1982. I was 3 years old, and
so precocious.
It was, at times everything's changed.
Yeah. Taylor Trensch. I know you're now a distance from age 19, but are there any handles in this play that helped you relate to Evan?
Totally. I'm also a queer person, so that's like a really lovely window into the play and into the character. And I think I similarly come from a family of like very polite, patient people. We don't necessarily like share our feelings with each other. And that sort of dynamic of where Evan comes from is highly relatable. I like so much about all of Ken's writing that it feels almost like it's been musically scored. There's like such a good map as an actor on the page, and maybe it's because he's very cool and is in a band. That like there's something he can't help but have. There's like a musical feeling to his plays, and it paints such a perfect map for actors, and it makes your job so much easier.
That's such an interesting realization. What kind of band are you in?
It's like an electronic music band with 2 singers, yeah.
Like Skrillex?
It's a bit more poppy than
Oh,
that.
good.
And I do all the electronics, then there's 2 singers. And
Do you write the music, though?
I write all the music. And sometimes I write lyrics, but mostly the singers write the lyrics. Yeah.
So you're a composer. So that it does tie in. That's really interesting.
So. Yeah, when I hear a composer, I feel like someone who like studied music and things like that. But thanks to technology, it's easy to like figure out how to make things now.
Like to find 3 blind mice.
Right. I feel like
on a synthesizer.
I feel like when people are like, sit down at the piano and play us something, I get really nervous because it's not usually how I compose. But yeah, I don't know. I guess yes, I am a composer.
Yeah.
Anyone, Taylor, what's your understanding of nerd rage?
That's a good cue. I don't know. I feel like maybe Ken is better equipped to answer. Not that I'm calling you a nerd. Not that I'm dragging you to hell.
No. I felt like some of the students I taught when I was at Harvard had these perfect lives to me, right? Because I never went to a school like that as an undergraduate or graduate school. And so I thought, oh, wow, they're so smart. They have these parents who really care about them, all these things I didn't have. And yet they were so angry. Like they would get so... yeah, it would just like bubble out of them in a way. And I thought, oh, that's so fascinating, which is what made me want to write this little play. So yeah, I guess that's what nerd rage is. It's like when on the surface it seems like you have everything, but then underneath there's this frustration, this unhappiness. And, you know, when I was a kid in college, my parents didn't even know what I was doing. They thought I was majoring in engineering. And then they were like, why did you get this degree in English? But these kids, like their parents know everything. They know their grades. And it's
I
like,
couldn't believe it. I remember when my son was starting and they were saying, communicate with your children. Help them, of course, choose classes. I said, choose classes? I don't even, I'm amazed.
Yeah. I don't know that my parents could have said where I was at college.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
It was another world, let me tell you.
My mom's a high school teacher, and she'll have students call their parents in class if they get a bad grade to argue on their behalf. Yeah. I mean, it's a new world.
Well, that's a big difference, too, because I went to Catholic school, and your parents always sided with the nuns. There was you were always the odd man out. And that completely changed. It's always the parents siding with the kid against the teacher, which I think is so kind of a narcissistic thing of the parents not separating themselves from the kid. So if you're saying that my kid is a bad student, you're saying that I'm a bad parent.
Yeah. Wow, Jane, you and I have so much in common. I'm Polish and went to 12 years of Catholic school.
You went to 12. I only did 8. What was the name of your school?
St. Mary's of the Lakes. And then Bishop Eustace Prep was what they were called.
Amazing.
They've never invited me back. I wonder why.
Bishop Eustace Prep is a drag name.
Yes, exactly. I should call myself that. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're still in business. I don't know.
So, Taylor, Knud, anybody, why do you guess that Evan, who's from a relatively accepting state and university, still seems to have trouble coming to grips with his sexuality?
Well, I think it's so personal and related to your circumstances, your family, the expectations they place on you. I think there's something interesting to his discomfort with his class, his feeling fraudulent. I went to a very expensive undergraduate and I went on scholarship. So I had the inverse relationship to my peers where I felt like I couldn't believe the kind of wealth that I was surrounded by for the first time in my life. But I came to observe the double-edged sword of that privilege and the sense of not knowing what is of your achievement and what's of your family. And I think there's something sort of gnawing at that, especially as a young person trying to figure out their value system. So you combine that with trying to process your identity. I think it's really complicated and hard.
That's because, again, at the University of Wisconsin, where tuition started out at $327 a semester for in-state students, everybody I knew was on, work study. I worked in the costume shop. You had grants. But we were all of the same socioeconomic background. I don't know anybody from my high school who went out of state to college. You went in here and they had very happy lives. But going out to Yale for graduate school, I saw people who had, bedrooms with their own bathrooms. I grew up in a house with one bathroom. Yeah. It was like, what do you mean? You have your own bathroom? I couldn't believe that kind of,
Exactly.
I also learned something when I was at Harvard that really surprised me as being an older person, is that I thought you came out in college, but actually at Harvard, the Harvard gays had all come out in high school. And so it was actually really hard to come out in college because they all looked down on you like, where were you the last 3 or 4 years? You couldn't be part of the group.
Oh,
so coming out in college.
So much for camaraderie.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, it was like a real thing where it was, coming out in college was harder because everyone else had come out in high school. And so you were not seen as truly out or like
self-actualized.
Yeah, what took you so long? That's so gauche. To wait to sophomore year. So that was such a mind screw for me. Was that I was like, I thought everybody came out in college. I thought I was like, I came out in college. But yeah, they were like, what do you mean in college? We did it freshman year of high school.
Oh my God.
We were in an affinity group in high school. So it was hard to come out at Harvard as an undergraduate.
Knud, was this your first time directing a short audio play?
I have done short plays and I've done audio plays, but this was my first time directing a short audio play.
So what was it like?
I really fell in love with the audio play format during quarantine. It felt to me like the kind of process that felt most like being in a rehearsal room, which I miss so much. The spontaneity, the aliveness, the emphasis on language and communication. Especially when you can be in a room together like today. It's such a pleasure just to hear people play off of each other, combined with the pleasure of film, which is like getting what you get on the day, trusting you have it in a couple takes, and putting it together in post. Yeah, it's just such a delight. And, I'm a very visual person. I came to theater through studying art and installation design. So setting aside that part of my brain and just trusting the ear it's a different muscle that I really enjoy flexing.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Knud and Ken, you've both worked together in the past, and what is it about one another's style and approach to work that make you a good duo?
What I love about Knud's work as a director is how finely crafted the performances are, and also his great visual sense. I definitely hear a play, and so often in rehearsal I close my eyes, and so I really like to trust a director that they know how to make it look in three-dimensional space, and I think he's a master at that. And so we've had a lot of fun working together. And we also had a lot of fun working on this audio play over the pandemic, and it was a real highlight. It was one of those things that like kind of got me back into theater, because like right before the pandemic, I feel like I was in a pretty dark place, and then the pandemic happened, and I thought, that can get worse. And it did. And so I feel like that experience really brought us together.
Yeah, and we're both fastidious and have an attention to detail, which can be annoying, but also is fun to riff off of. And yeah, for me, I just really love repeated collaborations. I'm such an introvert. I feel like the first time I work with someone, it doesn't count. And they only get to know me by round 2 or 3.
Yeah, same.
Jane and Taylor, can you describe directors and directorial styles that bring out the best in you?
This is my second time getting to do something with Knud and Ken. Both Ken and Knud are not unafraid of like quiet moments. And also, like today, Knud pointed us towards a place where we could both be a little more vile and cruel to each other. And I think I my whole life, all I ever want to do is make people comfortable and happy or laugh. And so it's nice to have somebody push me out of that and challenge me to like sometimes have a little more bite.
Absolutely everything you just said. It's wonderful working with directors who have a vocabulary of theater things. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say that because there are a lot of good TV directors too, but so often they're thinking about the shot, they're thinking about this, and they really don't know how to tell actors what they want. They don't have the vocabulary for really saying something, which is why I also love line readings, because I think if a director doesn't have the words for what so I say, just let me hear you say it. Let me hear you say it. Because I'll be able to hear, oh, you want it more plaintive,
Like reverse engineer.
Yeah. If I hear the way you think it should sound, I can come up with a whole vocabulary for what that is, that you might not think that's what it, So that's really nice. And then you just think about what it would be like to have a whole 4 weeks of rehearsal for something.
Yeah.
To
me, it seemed like these two characters were actually quite courageous in the end, in terms of just the moral courage of going forward. Did you feel that was there? And Ken, did that ever occur to you? I mean, just in terms of the courage it takes, to be that optimistic that you can get over this hump and that hump.
Well, you have a great line in here. I said something and you go, what, did you read that in a
greeting card?
A greeting card? I said, yeah, but you know what? That doesn't make it not true. There's a wonderful line in Private Lives I know about when they're out and some song is playing and they recognize that this was the song that they were on their honeymoon, the other couple. And the line is something like, amazing the potency of popular music. And I think of that so often. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's bad. And what does she say after the divorce? You just got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and start all over again.
Push through.
You just got to get going.
Yeah, I think that's right. And truisms and adages are for people who need them. Mm-hmm. I think I observe it's when my friends on Facebook start posting optimistic, life-affirming memes that I know they're really spiraling. But that's when it gets dark. But it's true. Any harbor in a storm. And I think, one of the charms of this play is noting that two people who have a lot of differences connect over fragility. And I think that sort of offering a helping hand to someone who is pushing you away is really one of life's miracles, and something that I find really moving when people can sort of see past the rough edges and observe someone's need and heart is it's just really lovely.
That's a lovely note to end on, actually.
Good job.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
This was wonderful and a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you all. This was lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been listening to Playing on Air, great American short plays with great American artists. Theme music by Tom Cochan. Play music by Ken Urban. Recording and sound design, John Kilgore. Playing on Air is distributed by PRX, Public Radio Exchange, and available on our podcast, Playing on Air. Or you can stream performances from our website, playingonair.org. I'm your host, Claudia Catania, the founder and artistic director of Playing on Air. Thanks for listening.